Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News afternoon report for Thursday, the 23rd of November, 2023. I'm Michael Thompson. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. So let's get going with story number 1. The S&P ASX 200 closed down 0.6% today to 7,029 points. The majority of sectors fell across the day, with metals and mining, resources and materials leading the declines. Nickel industries and chalice mining led the falls. Communications services, information technology, and Australian real estate investment trusts were the only gainers for the day, really led by Life 360 and PEXA Group. One of the top performers was AMP, with shares up 5.9% today. It announced plans to pay $100 million to financial planners leaving the company as part of a settlement over a class action that it lost. Shareholders had been expecting them to pay a lot more, so this was somewhat welcome news to them. Origin shares were down 1.1% today. They rallied briefly but then fell after a trading halt in the morning following a new proposal from Brookfield EIG that meant shareholders didn't end up voting on the takeover offer as expected. That vote will now be on December 4, and the board is still working through the details of this alternative proposal. On to story number 2 now, and the Reserve Bank of Australia Governor Michelle Bullock is warning the inflation crisis is, quote, homegrown, and not just the result of global factors like supply chain issues and political tensions. Michelle Bullock was speaking at an event last night where she really doubled down on her commentary about inflation being expected to take time to get back to target. In particular, services prices have been rising significantly, but she made the point that the cost of just about everything has been going up, not just electricity and not just petrol prices, which is what a lot of commentators are really focusing on. It's unclear at the moment whether there's going to need to be further rate rises to get this under control, but her talking points are clearly still that if inflation doesn't come down fast enough, then she's going to have to do more. Story number 3 now. The Israel-Hamas ceasefire is expected to now start on Friday, tomorrow, rather than this evening. At the same time, a new Australian campaign is going to be launched by around 100 Jewish and non-Jewish business leaders to fight antisemitism and discrimination, according to a Financial Review report. The new effort has been linked to a whole bunch of big business names. The decision was revealed just after federal government leaders spoke at the opening of the Melbourne Holocaust Museum, where former Federal Treasurer Josh Frydenberg and Holocaust survivor George Dreyfus, who is the father of Attorney General Mark Dreyfus, were in attendance. The new campaign from the private sector will largely focus on fighting anti-Semitism, but will also be opposing Islamophobia. Story number 4, hedge fund short sellers in the US and Europe have racked up about $43 billion in losses this week after a rebound in some stocks. The Financial Times is citing S3 Partners data and notes that the latest rally on Wall Street in particular, boosted by economic indicators that the inflation fight may be over, has triggered a short squeeze, with some funds repurchasing stocks to cover their short positions, pushing prices up even more. Now, despite this, short-term inflation expectations in the US have now reached an 8-month high. University of Michigan data suggests that Americans think prices are going to increase 4.5% on an annual basis in the next 12 months. And finally, story number 5. This is a saga that has been going on for days now. Sam Altman is back. Less than 5 days after he was squeezed out of OpenAI, he's been reinstated as CEO. It is a big win for Microsoft, which had been eager to see him back in the job. They are major investors in OpenAI. They announced it on X, formerly Twitter, where the business said it is trying to figure out the details. This is the focus of board members ex-Salesforce CEO Brett Taylor, former US Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, and current Quora CEO Ada D'Angelo. In the moments after trading, Microsoft shares hit their highest level ever. The new board now has to choose 9 new directors, according to Bloomberg, which was citing unnamed sources. Sam Altman has agreed to an investigation into the conduct that got him dismissed in the first place. There is definitely much more to come on this one. It is just fascinating to watch. That's it for the afternoon report for Thursday, the 23rd of November, 2023. We'll be back tomorrow morning with the Friday edition of Fear and Greed Business News. I'm Michael Thompson. Enjoy your evening.